Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to our Irrational Passions PAX cast. Hopefully that didn't cut me out. You know, I'll do the intro one more time just to be safe. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Irrational Passions post PAX West 2018 podcast. It's me, Alex O'Neill, your host this evening, alongside my wonderful cohorts in crime. In villainy. We got
what?
wait, we're criminals.
My!
Mike Burgess is here.
I just spent all day actually saving Manhattan, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Opposite of a criminal, Mike
Hero.
Burgess. Yeah.
Literal hero with a big white spider on my chest. But we're not here to talk about that.
We might talk about it a little bit though.
Alright, fine.
And Professor RPG himself, Scott White, is here.
Oh, hey guys.
We all were in Seattle last week. It's weird to think it's been a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say. It does not feel that long.
Yeah.
A week ago, we were at the messenger party getting drunk and
literally right now.
yeah.
A week from right now. And Mike was on an airplane or on his way to the airplane.
I was gonna say. You gotta remember time zones. So it was 7 p.m.
Jeez.
Just about 8. Yeah.
But we were all in Seattle. We all had a jolly good time. I feel like we had a pretty good time. Not as good a time as PAX East.
Yeah.
There were some things that were great though, like Scott was there, which was super fun.
It's pretty awesome. It was great meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to meet a lot of people. We got to hang out with the OKBC guys. You guys got to meet them for the first time.
Yep.
And we got to record a nightmarish podcast for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
We got to have very open conversations about the things that we need to do better. Kind of got to air out our dirty laundry, and we got to play a bunch of video games.
Yeah.
Video games.
It was a bonding experience for all of us. I think we all grew closer and stronger as friends and compatriots. Logan was also there, Logan Wilkinson, but he could not be here tonight. We don't actually know why. He just forgot.
He forgot about the meeting.
He forgot about us.
Hadn't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't emotionally ready to deal with us again.
Probably right.
Exactly.
He was
Like,
just
it's only been a week. I can't deal with these guys yet.
he's like, oh shit.
These fucking assholes.
Yeah. Get out of here.
But we played some stuff. We wrote a lot of stuff. The first
We Mr. Mike recorded a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. some B-roll was provided, let's say.
Yeah, that's the I guess I'll get more into it later when we talk about overall. But from a creative standpoint, it was a little disappointing, not as fun as East was, but I'm still happy with how some of that stuff came out.
I'm happy with how you guys went about what you did, I'll say.
Yeah.
Regardless of like the less access that we had, less opportunity that we had, you all did very, very well with what we had, and I appreciate both of you very much. And Logan, wherever he is, somewhere in Austin.
And we appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't undercut yourself. You did a ton of work and getting everything situated and
just
blowing
all these previews out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm just a preview writing machine, man. I don't know when to stop.
The preview pope.
It's just a thing I've done so much now. I feel really good about it. But we all did a lot of stuff. So first thing I kind of want to start with, and we'll come back to the stuff we wrote, but for each of you guys, what was your favorite piece that you put out? Like, what was your favorite bit of coverage for a game? Mike, let's start with you.
I would say it's a bit of a tie.
Okay.
And that would be, it's more not honestly what I created, I guess, but in terms of like the actual game I played. Because it would tie between Devil May Cry 5 and Grease.
Okay.
Like Devil May Cry 5, I really enjoyed it, but it was also like I knew like once I started playing it, I was just like, yep, this is exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Where like Grease like surprised me. Like you can watch a video of it and be like, wow, this this beautiful looking 2D like art, like watercolor painting come to life as a video game. But like there's actually like a lot more going on to it than just that. Like there's actually like fun platforming and like a lot of like you're constantly getting like different little upgrades that are like changing how you're platforming through and moving through environments. So it was really cool. But I would say that was the game I came out of PAX like most excited for, and was like, excited to make that, even though I think I again I wasn't able to get footage from it, but I think that was more just because of how they had their booth set up. Like if you see pictures of their booth, it was like this big lone thing, and they had TV hung up on a wall, so it really wasn't set up to like, hey, can you unhook all these TVs hung up on the wall to like, so I can like plug up some capture stuff. Like it was just how it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, sitting there, that was like the first game I played at PAX, and it was like, I don't think there was any other game really after I played that weekend that was like, oh wow, that I didn't expect this much out of this game, and it really surprised me, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the first game you played was Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because we played
already forgetting Smash.
Yeah, because we literally only played 2 matches the whole weekend. I'm still gonna be forever upset about that.
Yeah,
forever.
It's like hearing.
I'm not ready to record our podcast Ultimate at the end of this month. I'm gonna feel so bad because so many people were like, "Go see this character, and I was like, "Okay, I'm doing it. I'm ready. I'm fired up." A bunch of people were like trying to get stuff from us, and I literally couldn't get a single thing.
Yeah,
the thing was asked for, and it sucked.
It wasn't just you though. It was like you and I were talking back and forth, like, yeah, we're gonna go, like that's gonna be our thing. We're just gonna go troll the Nintendo booth every now and again.
Yeah, and it was just impossible.
It's impossible, yeah. Which is just so frustrating, but
yeah,
it's okay. It's not that far now. Like the nice thing about Smash Brothers, and again, we'll talk more about like what we played when we do record Podcast Ultimate, just because I feel like that's a better forum for it. But
for sure.
Spoilers, it's very good. It's Smash Brothers.
Hell yeah.
But the nice thing about that is we've got so many games between then and now that we'll be constantly distracted until it comes out. Which is good because like after that August Direct and then it was like 2 weeks of nothing, I was like, oh, man, I could really go for some Smash Brothers right now.
I don't need this picture of a Pokemon Smash blog. Give me something.
Yeah, give me something.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have a new character announced for this month's Podcast Ultimate as well.
Excuse me. Yeah, for sure.
I shout out to you, Mike, just for choosing, say for, let's say, Toe Jam and Earl, but for choosing the most visually striking.
Hey.
Fair enough. All right.
Toe Jam and Earl was pretty visually cool. And that one was also just like, I just wanted to see what that game was in 2018. Like, what the heck is this? And hey,
Did we lose Mike?
Yeah, Mike's frozen.
He's just too awestruck by it.
The nice thing is I'm not going to edit this at all, so people get to just experience it. I like it. It happens to Mike once anytime the three of us record. He's just like somewhere. He got pulled into the Toe Jam and Earl universe. It's taken him. In the meantime, Scott, what about you? Was there one thing that you really liked?
I'm still very much on board with Stormland, being really impressed by Insomniac's VR game Stormland. And maybe that was because I literally went in to that meeting and that demo not really expecting or knowing anything about it. It was just like, oh, it's by Insomniac, this could be cool. And then coming out very impressed with what they showed. Just from a visual and gameplay experience. And I touched on this in my preview that I wrote, that it's the first like from the ground up VR experience that doesn't feel like a glorified tech demo to me on what a VR, especially like a VR shooter, can be. But in terms of my favorite piece that I've wrote, I think it's my Killer Queen one.
Okay.
I really liked how that came together, and I like being able to tell people that they're ants and not and not bees.
Yeah.
But
Mike's fully gone now.
Yeah.
Now it's like on the
EP stuff.
camera. It's like a very tight zoom on you, Scott.
Mm.
And it's like widescreen. It looks like a very cinematic. All right, a little intense. But yeah, it was fun playing Killer Queen together. We'll probably talk about it in a little bit once we get Mike back in here. But it was very enjoyable just to like kind of see that game in motion. Hey, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
That was really weird. So it was like all my Wi-Fi just died because like Slack like dropped like all of a sudden. I was just like, what?
They cut you off.
Weird.
Yeah,
they didn't like what you were saying.
Yeah, the Toe Jam and Earl people.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
go ahead, Mike.
But yeah, like I just wanted to know what Toe Jam and Earl was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I saw that game was gonna be there, I was just like, I just want to know what this is. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then I actually like the cool thing. It was cool though, because like I went to this like weird like offsite thing, and there was literally like 3 other developers and like no one else there, because like it was offsite, so no one knew where it was. And I got to meet the creator of Toe Jam and Earl. And I played co-op.
That's
with
really
him,
cool.
So
yeah, that's cool.
It's one of those things though, like including Toe Jam and Earl, like the 3 video previews that you did were all like very visual games. Like it was cool to see those in motion.
Yes, for sure. I definitely like specifically was like looking for stuff that was like, all right, what are the games I'm seeing when I watch a trailer for that would be better than not just someone trying to write and describe what it's doing instead of just showing what it's doing, and that'll just portray it so much easier.
Yeah. And Scott, just kind of pivoting back to while you dropped Mike, we were just talking about what Scott was kind of really proud of. Pivoting back to you, like I'm curious, before you did that Party Hard 2 preview, had you done any previews before?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think I had done a preview before Party Hard. No.
So, and that was obviously a different kind. It wasn't an event-based preview, but this was your first kind of event preview coverage. How did you feel about it, just in general?
I liked it. I think one thing I struggle with is, especially I found in my Rend one, is not knowing how much time I should spend on describing the game as opposed to just my feelings of the game, like describing mechanics to people that might not know about it. That's one thing I've found myself struggling, is like, how much do I like go into the game mechanics and how it actually plays as opposed to just my thoughts on what I was presented, and not go so in depth as, okay, these are all the mechanics, and kind of like how I would normally do in a review. I touch on those more in reviews, but I guess I kept wanting to describe those and spend time going into them in the previews.
It's weird too, because it's a balance, right? Especially like because I like previewed the Messenger and then I reviewed the Messenger, and like it's what do you want to talk about in each? I think is going to really depend on the game, and I'm talking as if I'm an expert, but I'm by no means an expert.
Preview expert Alex O'Neill.
Preview Pope Alex O'Neill. But yeah, it's one of those things where like Jarrett in his Fire Pro review recently, he like had a moment where he talked about like what each button does, and like that's like an old school review thing that like most modern reviewers would say like you never want to do, just because it's like a little dry for a review. But I think that stuff can be super helpful for a preview, for like where not many people have played the game or a limited amount of people have played the game. Sometimes working that in can be helpful, but it depends on the game. Like for example, if someone was previewing Sekiro, I'd want to know what all the shoulder buttons do, right? So like when the Easy Allies went into that in their preview of Sekiro, that was really helpful to me as someone who's played a lot of Dark Souls. It's like, all right, From Software is making a new kind of game, and like knowing that there's no heavy attack or something in that game is on L2 is like, oh, okay, this is big, this is important. But it depends on the game, depends on that. I feel like you got a good grasp of it by the time you were done. So it's fun. I like writing previews and kind of going into The thing I was maybe the most proud of, I had a lot of stuff. Obviously, like the most coverage I think I've ever done on a video game pre-release is Spelunky 2. And I know y'all are fucking sick of hearing about it. And it's funny because like the IP guys on the 393, the episode we just recorded on Friday, like acknowledgements, like I got like 1,000 questions I want to know about Spelunky. I'm like, fuck yeah, I was not expecting this. I'm ready for it. And Tony's like a huge Spelunky guy too, and he had a bunch of questions. And it was nice to
That's your outlet.
Yeah, it was nice to have them kind of be ready to really pick my brain on it. But like I got pulled into like a Spelunky Discord, and I was like talking to fans of that game, and like they responded in kind, and they were following and retweeting on Twitter, and like that preview's done very well. So like it was a weird kind of like getting roped into covering this game more intimately, but like that's like the kind of thing that community really wants, and it was so important to me that I actually went and updated that preview, and like gave those kinds of specific answers to the people that wanted them. But maybe one of the things I'm most proud of, like, and it's true of multiple of my previews from PAX West, like I had a little bit of a different approach to my preview coverage this game, because a lot of the stuff that I got to play was in a more intimate environment. Like I got to play a lot of stuff in hotel rooms and just sit down in a much quieter place and really sink into a game. But it's Streets of Rage 4, weirdly enough. And George really liked it too. And it was kind of funny because I wasn't planning on playing that game when I went to that appointment, because they said I would only be able to play 2 of the 3 games there, and I got to play all 3. And Streets of Rage 4 was just one. I was like, I have like some actual journalistic style questions. Like I want to know, the story behind this game. I want to know how this game came into be, and getting to sit down with Ben, the creative director of that game, and really pick his brain of like, how did this happen? Like, what happened to make this sequel to this trilogy that is like very well regarded in this genre? And he's like, hey, like I put together a presentation and I pitched it and they said yes, and it's like a dream job. So like I would say like my Young Souls and my Streets of Rage 4 preview, and even my Windjammers preview to some extent, have like that kind of angle of like, and that's all from the same appointment too, funnily enough, of like let me get a little bit more into why this game was made, and because Windjammers 2 and Streets of Rage are like very specific sequels to very old games, so it was a lot. It was a lot of fun to actually get to pick at their brains about why are these games happening. So I'm really proud of those, and I think even if you don't like beat 'em ups, you can kind of jump into that Streets of Rage preview and really appreciate the story behind it.
Yeah, totally.
So, Scott, it was your first PAX.
Yeah.
Mike, it was your first PAX West. Second PAX, though.
Yes, second.
Are you with me, Mike, on the PAX East is better than PAX West?
Yeah, in terms of conventions, PAX East was definitely just like more enjoyable in like so many ways. Of like getting around the show floor was much nicer. Just, I mean, I would say outside of PAX, I liked Seattle a lot more than Boston.
Yeah,
but like the actual convention itself, like East was like so much better.
Yeah,
just so much better to walk around. Like it being in such a, if I feel like Seattle's convention is bigger, like the convention center is bigger, but because it's all split up, and everything is condensed, where like East is like one big area. So you had your big open spaces and walkways that people can just easily walk around, where like PAX West, I was always felt like I was stuffed.
Yeah.
In a walkway, and it was miserable so many times where I'm like, oh, I just want to walk over to the mega booth, but I have to walk through the Sony and Xbox area, which is always just you're stuck in this mass and you cannot go anywhere for a while, and you're just like,
yeah, and it
sucked.
It's one of those double-edged swords too, because like you said, Seattle is, I think, a better environment. Like it was my first time really spending time in Seattle. We had a nice place that we were staying at.
Yes.
And we
Holy crap.
stayed at a pretty nice place in East, but like this was like
It's fine, yeah.
this is like a fucking like 5-star hotel levels of
Oh, it was beautiful.
like
3 stories.
yeah,
Like beautiful view. Every bathroom had was like a full bathroom basically.
yeah, we balled out a little bit. Like it was not that much more expensive than what East turned out to be, but like the luxury was very much worth it in my opinion. Like
Yes.
it was just like so nice to go back to a place that felt so comfortable and homey.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, PAX West is like the convention center is like this multi-floor building in dead center of downtown Seattle. So like we walked like no more than 10 minutes to get like really good food or like a really nice place.
Yeah.
Shout out to little Woodies.
Little Woody.
Oh, I want those queso fries so
Yeah,
bad.
Amazing
Woodies.
burgers and queso fries. We had like great
Yes.
ramen real close by. Cheesecake Factory was right there.
Still have never
all
had
we need.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, I'm so sad. We should have gone back for you.
Nah, we didn't need to.
Yeah, we didn't need to though.
I would have taken Little Woody's over
yeah.
Cheesecake anyway.
If we go to
so.
PAX
Yes.
West again, we're definitely hitting up Little Woody's for sure.
Hell, yeah.
And like our pre-PAX dinner on Thursday night was like also like a really nice place that wasn't too far from where we were staying. It was nice. Like whereas the Boston Convention Exhibition Center is like it's all in one building, but like you gotta have to walk like 15 minutes to get to South Station to get to nearby restaurants or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you have to walk like 20 minutes the other direction to get to Burger King, home of the Whopper.
Oh God.
So, but for you, Scott, as your first video game convention, your first PAX, your first event as press, how was it for you?
I thought it was fantastic. Like my biggest issue with it is I feel like they definitely needed additional press periods, either like at the end of the days or before, because especially with having our press hour cut short by like a third that first day. And I realized that PAX is a consumer show. It's for the fans and things like that. So I get that press isn't their primary focus. But it was just so many of those big games, like the Nintendo booth, pretty much all of those games after that media hour were just pretty much inaccessible. That Saturday, how all the big, like the main games lines were capped within like 3 minutes of the doors opening. It was frustrating because there were definitely games I wanted to play that didn't get to, like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I never got a chance to. Mega Man 11, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil. So many of those things that was a bummer. But I still got to play a bunch of really cool games. Got to meeting developers and being able to speak with them one-on-one, like the folks at Frostkeep with Rend, or the creative director over at Insomniac at their special event that was also offsite. The guys at the Don that's putting together Black Future, that was really cool. Those experiences were definitely things I'll never forget. And overall, the experience was just fantastic. For me anyway. It was just, I was always hyped that, oh my God, I'm here and I'm writing about things. So that, and especially like that messenger party, like you saw me like completely awestruck, Alex, by so many things. Like,
I was awestruck by many things at that messenger party. So,
but it was just a great time, and everything you guys have said about PAX East, how much better it is, whether or not we go next year or with any other conferences we might be attending. It's just, I can't wait to experience those as well. So
yeah, it's a thing though, like us like trying to get in at 10 a.m. to cover games, but like it sucks for everybody that 10:03 Kingdom Hearts is done, Resident Evil 2 is done, Devil May Cry 5 is done. Like that sucks for everyone.
Yeah.
There's people that spent like way more money than we probably did just getting an Airbnb and like flying out just to go to this event. And I mean, like some of that's also they're probably going there to like go to
panels and stuff.
Yeah, thanks. The panels and like seeing like all their other creators and all that stuff that's also there. So it still sucks for everyone, really.
It felt like much less of an issue at PAX East, honestly, that specific thing. It's pre-E3, right? So a lot of those big games haven't been announced yet, or like, the biggest stuff there is different. But still, like, if all somebody wanted to do was see Resident Evil 2, like, they couldn't do that for the most part.
Yeah.
Unless they were willing to spend like the entire day waiting in line just for like a 15-20 minute demo.
Yeah, like getting up at 6 a.m., getting in the front of that line.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, the convention center is just so much more confusing for me. I don't even know where the line starts to get into the convention center there. It's just, it's a lot. But that aside, a couple of things. Anybody have any questions about something somebody else played? Because I do have a couple for you, Mike, if we want to kind of start there. I want to know Devil May Cry 5.
Yes.
Because I played Devil May Cry 4. And I don't love it.
Okay.
And I love DMC, Devil May Cry, the reboot. How would you say this game compares between the two?
Having not really played much of DMC, I wouldn't be super familiar, but I would say even so, it's very much Devil May Cry 4.
Okay.
Or it's much more in that vein. There are differences. Like, I think the main thing was in Devil May Cry 4, he had his devil arm. Which he did. I think he had multiple moves with that. It's been a while since I played that too.
You unlock them as you go along. So
yeah. Where this one, it's now the different. He has mechanical arms. I think they're called the Devil Breakers, I believe was what they're called. And now like all of those different abilities are tied to different arms you can swap in and out. So basically, like when you're running through the level, you'll see just like metal arms just kind of strewn about the level. You can go pick them up and you can hold up. In the demo, you can hold up to about 4, and they were all spread out. So he had like a big like electrical shotgun kind of burst stun in front of him with one of the arms. Another one basically gave him like a grapple, so he could like lunge towards enemies or like be up in the air, and you could bring him up to the air with you. Another one gave you like it looked almost like a Psycho Crusher from Street Fighter from M. Bison, except you kind of did like diagonally and up. And you can like do it to either like dodge, or you could use it to like hit an enemy up into the air with you and then keep doing combos. And then all of those arms also have supers attached to them. So like one had like it shot out a bunch of miniature lasers that would like bounce off walls. So if you use it like in a small enclosed area, it would just like annihilate anything in the room with you. Another one just shot like a big like, it's like a weird like bendy laser beam. It looks like a big, like, Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha laser, but
Nice.
But you could like aim it, and like when you aim it, it like bends and like floats around. It was really weird and cool. But if you do that, the arm explodes, and then it'll change right to whatever next arm you have. You can also do that at any time while you're just fighting. If you just hold down I think it's like one of the LBRBs. I was using an Xbox One controller, and that just it blows it up. And if you do that, you can use it to like get out of attacks. Essentially, like it's like a kind of like a get out of jail free card. If you're about to get hit by a big move or like stuck in a combo or something.
Do you think you could use those as like cancels into different attacks as well?
Yeah, you can do that too. Where it just kind of like it blows up and he kind of like jumps back, and then you can kind of just go into whatever. But yeah, I would say it's having not played DMC really. It seemed way more like this is the next evolution from Devil May Cry 4.
Okay. Because I lost a bet at some point on Irrational Passions. I've gone back and played.
Yeah.
I have to replay Devil May Cry 4 again. So I started that again. I'm like, this feels better than I remember it. Keep in mind, also playing it on Xbox One now, so I got the benefit of 60 frames.
Yeah.
I guess it was 60 frames originally, though.
I think so. They usually like to stay.
Yeah,
around
because
that.
it was like a big deal that DMC was 30 frames on PS3 360. I remember that now. But yeah, I just really like, for me, DMC was the first character action game that I ever really got into. Like I'd played God of War before, but I wouldn't even put those in like the same class necessarily.
Sure.
And I would not enjoy things like modern God of War, or I guess like Dark Souls are also character action games, but they're so
They're more
different.
like they're more RPG.
Yeah, they have more RPG mechanics. But I would not have enjoyed something like 2018 God of War or Bayonetta as much if I had not played DMC, and that was kind of like my entry point. So I'm obviously very excited for Devil May Cry 5, but that's my big kind of concern going into it. So
yeah,
the cool thing for me in DMC was like the demon weapons and the angel weapons on each trigger and kind of switching between those. And,
yeah.
But we'll see. Like it sounds cool, and that's also like Nero is just one of 3 playable characters too.
It was just him in the demo. Like it was a pretty brief demo. Like it was like 15 minutes or so, where like it was very clear. Like it seemed like it was like a truncated version of probably like the first couple levels of the game, where you like get the initial tutorial, and then you like run through this city that's being attacked by like this weird demon tree, and then you get to the end of it and you fight like the thing that's been in all trailers, like the big demon who has like a big mouth in its stomach and it shoots fireballs and stuff. So it's like a multi-part fight. It's pretty cool.
Scott, we didn't do a preview for this because it didn't seem like we needed to, but you played Kingdom Hearts 3.
I did.
A game all 3 of us are very excited about.
Yep.
I actually just before we were recording this, I finished the doing a limited run series from the fine folks at the 3 Best Friends podcast. We just finished talking about Kingdom Hearts 2. We're all very excited about 3.
Great game.
What was your big takeaway from playing Kingdom Hearts 3?
It's real. No, I mean, it was the same demo that like they've shown at this Kingdom Hearts special event and E3 and stuff. So it was like you could either do Olympus or you could do the Toy Story World. I did the Toy Story World. And it's so visually stimulating and pretty to look at, and smooth and fluid, and runs beautifully.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Like, I didn't play it, but it was right next to the Spelunky 2 demo, so I got to see a lot of it. And I hadn't seen people talking about it. Is locked 60 frames per second on PS4, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. It definitely tells. I don't know if I'm hoping the voice cast or the voice acting isn't finalized in that demo, because the person, I don't know who it is, the voice actor for Woody in the Toy Story World isn't good.
It's Tom Hanks' brother, actually.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, it is.
He does all of the...
That's Tom Hanks' brother. Yeah.
He does all of the... Mike knows because they talked about it in this Easy Allies podcast where I heard it. He does all of, like, Tom Hanks's, like, ADR and role, like voiceover roles.
Yeah. Basically anything that's above Tom Hanks' pay grade, his brother does.
Yeah.
Like, to put it bluntly, I guess.
Yeah, which is a horrible way to look at it, but it's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm hoping it's not the final take of it, because it just didn't sound like Woody to me. I think whoever they had be Buzz, I think he sounds very, very good.
Tim Allen-esque.
Very Tim Allen-esque, but I did skip a lot
Tim
of
Allen's
the...
Bim Allen. I don't know.
Bim for Tools, right? That was their competitor.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't do many of the cutscenes, so I didn't hear too much of the voice. So it might have just been in the background. That wasn't like the background lines might not be all that good yet. But
sure.
So you did the full? Oh, excuse me, guys. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. Forgive us. Did you do the full, like jump out Woody's window and?
Oh yeah.
How cool was that?
That was cool. I
sweet.
totally botched the attack you can do like when you're falling. Like I hit the wrong button, or I didn't do it in time. I can't remember, but the flow motion rides are still really, really cool. I'm still not a huge fan or sold on the whole Keyblade transformation thing. I don't want that. I want the drive forms back.
Yeah, we all do.
Drive forms, Keyblades are cool because they like have always been like key themed, and it's cool to see them. I don't need my Keyblade to transform into like a blaster gun or things like that, or drill. Like they look cool, but it's just like, I'd take something else over it. But
it seems like that's like the big thing because you can switch Keyblades on the D-pad now, right?
Yeah, you can equip up to like 3 to quickly swap between them. I didn't really take advantage of that or notice it in my playthrough, but I have seen mention of that. But the magic spells look fantastic. Like they feel and look a lot more hard hitting than they have in the previous Kingdom Hearts games. So I use magic attacks a lot. One thing I did do. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. One of the things I did do was in the toy area, instead of going around in the mech suit, I just
you went wild like a dog.
Yeah,
I went.
He's
crazy.
really excited.
Oh, there's people outside. But one thing I did do is I took on that mech area outside of the mech suit they provided. Like I didn't want to use the arm cannon and stuff in the giant mech you can jump into. So I was just like moving around, dodging the attacks from the other mechs and just like blasting them with magic spells and doing them combos and the flow motion rides. The flow motion rides, by the way, look amazing. They're beautiful, like with the particle effects and the lights on them to represent the Disney rides. Those look really, really cool. And I never noticed any frame drops. I was hoping I could open the menu and just kind of see what that looks like, but yeah, I wasn't surprised when you couldn't.
Yeah, I figured not.
Right.
That's the thing, like we've still not seen that much Kingdom Hearts gameplay out there in the wild. And I have a feeling that there are probably some big mechanics that we probably don't know about.
For sure.
It seems like there's probably not going to be a drive form equivalent. Obviously, there are summons, and I don't think we've really seen any of that being played. Seen all of them
for sure.
Yeah, they've shown like bits of like Ariel as a summon and Simba, but
I think they've shown off her more, but she's in like one of the builds they've made.
Okay.
They like showed her like basically she like leaps out of the ground like up and down like and makes like big fountains and stuff.
So there is more mechanically to see, but I feel like the switching Keyblades and the Keyblade transformations are like the big thing of 3. Which I know sounds like a bummer, but there could be more to it that we just haven't seen yet. So I'm still hopeful.
For sure.
Give me a Keyblade or a form where I can dual wield Keyblades again, or have them like floating around me like in Final Form. That's what I want.
It's got to be in there in some way.
Those are what I want.
I feel like that could easily just make a quote unquote transformation that's like does the same things that the drive forms do. So
yeah, there could be like
for sure
you get Oblivion as a Keyblade, and like the thing it does is splits into 2 Keyblades, and that could be the transformation. So.
Totally.
Or maybe it's like Halo and all the odd numbered Kingdom Hearts games you can't dual wield in.
I mean,
I don't know.
Can you Keyblade? Can you dual wield in 358 and a half stay?
You can actually in the last
scene. There you go.
All the even number.
One of the good. It's one of the good ones.
It's one of the good ones. Just like Halo 2, guys. Man, what a dumb bit. I don't know. I'm excited about 3. How my only other question, because I don't want to spend too much time on it. How dense did the world seem? Like, did it feel like there's a lot of stuff, like a lot of chests and whatnot throughout the world?
I didn't find any chests.
Okay.
So at least in the demo,
I feel like that could just, because you didn't have access to the menus, why would they give you chests? Now that I think about it. So
yeah,
that's true.
Plus, it was cut down to 15 minutes, like a 15-minute demo, as opposed to like the 20 and 30-minute that's been presented at other events.
Yeah.
And they even said when you start, we highly recommend you skip the cutscenes just because you have so little time to actually play. It's like, oh, okay. So I didn't spend much time exploring to try and find items and things like that.
Cool.
I was just fighting and trying to see as much stuff as I could in terms of like the attacks and flow motion rides and things like that. So so good. January, man.
January, dude. It's not that far, honestly. Like it's just like we'll have Smash Brothers by then. We'll be able to play that up until Kingdom Hearts comes out.
Too much.
Yeah, the next 6 months of video games. The next 8 months of video games, honestly.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Are a lot.
It's gonna be crazy.
You guys have any questions for me about anything I saw?
Honestly, it's hard to remember what else you saw because you've just talked about Splunky every time you brought up PAX. So I can't even remember what else you saw. Which I know you did see a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us about Tetris VR.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the one I kind of wanted to talk about. Tetris Effect. Fuck. So I the big kind of hook of my preview, and again, I was trying a different approach with all the stuff I was writing, and it's like I've never played a Tetsuya Mitsuguchi game. Like I've never really been exposed to his kind of approach to incorporating mechanic and music, which I know is like his style. So and I talked to you guys about it. Like I was like shook after I played it. Like honestly, I've been thinking I've been thinking about Tetris Effect like every day since I played it. Tetris is like it's one of those things that I play a lot, but I don't talk about ever. Right? I had to delete it off my phone because I was playing it on my phone too much, and I have like the original mobile version of Tetris that's pretty good, not like the shitty version that EA puts out now, where it's like you just like tap the best placement for the block or whatever, and it just does it for you. So yeah, like earlier this year on my flight to Kind of Funny Prom in June, actually, I beat Tetris Marathon for the first time ever, which was a big moment for me. I know that's like not huge for everybody, but like basically the first 6 months of the year, I've been playing Tetris on my phone almost nonstop. And then after that I beat it, I was like, I gotta stop playing this, and I deleted off my phone.
What is Tetris Marathon?
It's like the standard Tetris mode, so it will get progressively more difficult as you clear certain lines, and it goes up by a leveling system. So in the mobile version, I think there are 16 to 20 levels.
Okay.
So like by the end, it's just like hard drops pretty much, and you have to be kind of planning out your next move. So like it's hard. Like it is not an easy thing to do. If like anyone else has played it, if you play the endless mode of Tetris, it's basically starts at the hardest difficulty, and it's like how long can you go? So when you beat Tetris Marathon, it just transitions into endless, which is cool. So it never stops, but it's basically you build up until the hardest difficulty, and then go for as long as you can. I am by no means amazing at Tetris, but I think I'm pretty good. I set up combos. I can do T-spins. I can do the tricks and whatnot that are fun and cool maneuvers to pull off. So I just love Tetris on its face value. And I'll say this, like I don't think, because there are some specific things, I didn't mention them in my preview, but there's some specific things that'll probably make Tetris Effect not the most competitive version of Tetris. Specifically, like anytime you clear a line, the blocks like explode into these particle effects that are very distracting. Like they take up a lot of your visual kind of periphery, and it's blocking all of what you exactly need to see. And it lasts like maybe a second, like a full second or two. But in the grand scheme of Tetris, like that's a long time, especially like if you're up in the higher difficulties. Maybe they tone that down as things get faster, though. So I don't know, because I just played a couple of basic levels. But it makes it maybe not the most competitive version. Like there were definitely times where like after I got a big combo together and like a lot is blown up, I'm like, all right, I gotta have to wait a couple of seconds before I can line up my next move until these particle effects chill. But like for me, that was kind of part of the experience, and I was still really into it. Obviously I was playing in VR. It's pretty, the cool thing is it's pretty far away. Like the board is pretty far away, but it kind of moves closer to you as the game goes on. It doesn't like get like right up in your face or anything like that, but it does like kind of go from like against the wall to like a little bit closer to you. And like I said in my preview, every time you like move or rotate a block, it makes sound that is like a sound from the song that's playing. And it's just like kind of like as you're playing Tetris, you're like in real time remixing the song that's playing in the background with all of your moves. And it's like, that's so cool. It's just like and I know that's Res, right? That's a part of that game. That's kind of part of Luminous and whatnot too. It's just like, I've never seen that, and I was like way into it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool feeling because it adds like this musical level to. Again, it doesn't make it like a rhythm game by any means, but it just adds like this kind of this additional layer to playing Tetris. And like I when I was talking to you guys, I threw around synesthesia a lot, which is the idea of like senses kind of blending together. So feel and touch and sound and smell and sight, like you like seeing a taste or you like feeling a color, things like that. Like the way the music and the visuals bled together is like you were seeing sound in a lot of ways, and you were hearing what you're feeling in the blocks and the breakages of Tetris in a really cool way. And it's blending that stuff in a very cool way. It was basically laid out when I played it. It was laid out like a level select, and I started on the basic normal level. And it like when you finish the level, it like it like does this animation where like the board itself explodes, and you're like going through like this endless tunnel of particle effects flying at you. And again, in VR, it's just like you're like, oh god, and it's like little twinkle sounds, and then it like stops, and then the next board just comes up. So it's just instant transitions in the next level. And since it's in VR, like you can like look all around you, and all of these little particles are flying all around you. And then it's just, you're right back in the next level, and it would start like with some blocks already in the board for you to break, and then you just go right into it.
That sounds very cool. Is there a release date for that?
This year, apparently.
It's sometime this year.
Nice.
No date, but it's 2018, like fall 2018, which is terrifying because this will just drop some week, and it's like, cool, this is
shadow drop.
This is the rest of my week now. I can see them like shadow dropping it during PSX if they end up doing PSX this year. So
that'd be a good one.
Mm-hmm. TGS.
Yeah, or we could find out at TGS. That's like very soon, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the hook mechanic I said in my preview is like this freeze time ability, and it's very good. Like you can freeze time and then do double Tetris, or 10 blocks or 12 blocks, and it like shouts out like this number in Latin. Once it breaks, it doesn't shout it out, but like the text like Decim pops up when I had 10 blocks cleared after the end, because they don't basically you clear a line, and like all of the lines then become solid white coloring and go to the bottom. So then you clear another line, it goes down to the bottom, and basically you clear yourself until it's like all of it in the bottom, and then the time runs out, and then that white block explodes. And it'll like it'll have a word for it, because like Tetris is 4 blocks, and you can do like back-to-back Tetris, and now it's like 8 or Decim or 10 or whatever. So it's fucking cool. It's like Tetris on crack.
It sounds really cool.
And it's awesome, yeah.
That sounds really sweet.
The reason I did like the full width article style for my preview is just so I could let the visuals speak for themselves in that game.
That's totally what that game is. And like you said, it's totally what that game is, and it's totally what Mizuguchi does. Because like I love Lumines a lot, and I enjoyed Rez a lot too. So it's very exciting to see him just be like, hey, I don't know, I'm doing my bullshit, but there's Tetris here too. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's like he's producer on it. Like I know he's not necessarily like the creative director or anything, but it's one of those things where Mizuguchi kind of got to make his Tetris with Lumines, from what I understand, and like now he gets to take a crack at Tetris, and I think that's just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I know Logan wanted us to give particular shout outs to Last Year Nightmare and Blackout Club. Anybody else play Blackout Club?
That was gonna be one I asked about for sure, because I was very curious about it.
Yeah.
but he went and saw it. But
Yeah, especially after reading his preview, it's just like, oh man, I wish I had checked that out.
Yeah,
He was really impressed by that. I know. So like, I would say, unfortunately, let his words speak for themselves. Go check out his preview. Scott and I did play last year Nightmare though.
Yes,
which was super fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he showed. I stopped by the booth on the last day I was there on Sunday, and Logan. I didn't play it, but Logan did show it to me, and it looked very like. Is it kind of like? I guess I'll take my guess here and say, is it basically Left 4 Dead and like Friday the 13th kind of meshed?
Yeah,
exactly
into a game?
That.
Okay,
yeah, and
that's very much what I got from watching that, because it's like, there's a camera walking around and everyone has bright orange highlights, exactly like Left 4 Dead when you're in a death can. Like it looked exactly like that, like 1-for-1. So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Justin, the hype man himself, for
really awesome guy, by the way.
Just the coolest dude.
Super nice guy.
Super nice, but also just so passionate about his game. He's the, I think, producer, or one of the producers on Last Year Nightmare. He was the one that all of us talked to, I guess. And then we got to meet him at the messenger party. It was funny, because we just got to talk to him for a little bit, and as soon as I saw him, I'm like, hey, I thought of this comparison for Last Year Nightmare that I hadn't put together when I played it. I just wanted to run it by you. It reminds me, and I'll tell you this to you, Mike. It reminds me a lot of, in Left 4 Dead 2, the multiplayer mode where you had to get the gasoline cans to fill up the car. Where it was 4v4. You're the group of survivors, and then 4 people are playing as special zombies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this mode. I don't know if you ever played Left 4
because
Dead
that was in both Left 4 Deads.
Okay, I didn't remember it in the first one, but I played like 100 hours of it in Left 4 Dead 2.
It's awesome.
Like my friend Josh would come over after school, and we would like local screen co-op. Like he would plug a mic into, like, he didn't have a 360, so he never played Left 4 Dead, but like we played this together once, and like he would come over multiple times to play it with me because we loved it so much. And like we would plug mics in and just go with randos. It was like one of those games. And yeah, we played so much of it. It was just like, it was one of those things where you could just play it multiple times over and over again. And he was like, he knew exactly what I was talking about. Justin did, and he was like, "That's a fucking great comparison, and I love you for it." And yeah, he was just super into it. But yeah, Last Year Nightmare, it's asymmetrical competitive multiplayer, where 5 people play as teenagers in a different teenage-themed horror movie environment, and then one person plays as the monster or the killer, and there were 3 killers in the build that we played, like a stereotypical Jason axe murderer, a big brooding Hulk-like tank, and then like a slit your throat Freddy Krueger like creeping kind of guy.
Okay.
And so I think one of the developers was playing as the killer each time. So
okay.
We didn't get to play as that, but it's cool. Like at the beginning, you select your role. It's like medic, or like, do you remember all the roles? Because I don't.
One was like the combatant. One was like support tactician, I think, and then like medic.
Yeah, and then there was one guy that had like a flashlight that could stun the killer, and then a 5th role that I don't remember. I played the medic when I played.
I played the jock with the pipe. I was the attacker. That I would just throw myself in front of the monster so the other people could run. And when we played, because I played with Logan, he actually escaped. He was the sole survivor, so the survivors ended up winning. Because how it works is the killer has to kill all the teens, but for the teens to win, only at least one of them have to escape. So that was a lot of fun. There's a crafting system, and each player has different items that they can craft.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. Each one has different stuff they can craft. We were told about that in our demo because we, like I mentioned, Logan and I had signed up for a special demo where it was the two of us, and we got to talk with Justin for quite a bit about the game, and his inspiration and the passion came through so much in that talk we had, and back at the messenger party as well. But very, very impressive game. It reminded me a lot of also the asymmetric kind of gameplay of Spies versus Mercs in the Splinter Cell games.
Mm-hmm.
How you have like people that are like the Mercs are like the monsters in this case that are like really overpowered and focus more on killing, while the everyone else has to focus on specific objectives, and you can slow down the monster a bit, but
I explained
in a head to head, it's you're just dead.
I explained to Justin that I was the one guy that liked Evolve. He appreciated that.
I'm sure he really enjoyed his game being compared to Evolve.
I did not compare his game to Evolve. It was before I played it. I just said I love asymmetrical multiplayer. I'm the one guy that liked Evolve.
Okay. He was just like, oh, great.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It was just like, honestly, Justin left such an impression on all of us that we'd be remiss if we didn't bring it up. It's
awesome.
It's a well executed idea too. The only thing that has me worried, and the nice thing is like they're not worried. But the only thing that has me worried is it's one of the few announced Discord exclusives, so it'll only be available for the first 90 days on Discord. When it launches sometime this year. But they're not worried. They were like talking to Justin. He was really confident in that platform, and he feels like it's a good place for them. And obviously they will come to other platforms after that, and no word yet, but I assume this will come to consoles at some point. So
yeah,
cool. Sounds neat.
It's cool.
It's very fun. I would definitely love to do some game nights, some IP game nights with that.
Yeah, me too.
That game. That would be a good stream game.
Yeah. It's one of those games that's just very arcadey too, and it's just replayable because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
Anything else we wanted to touch on? We played Smash Brothers. I know we already mentioned it, but I'm still an open wound, Mike. I'm sorry. It's good, man.
It is.
It's very good. It's everything you want a Ultimate Smash Brothers game to be, but we didn't get to play enough of it.
So that's the only thing That's the worst thing you can say, and it's a big worst thing you can say. Very big.
All we wanted to do was play more Smash Brothers. I guarantee. I promise all of you.
They needed more than like the 4 stand like setups for that game.
Yeah.
They needed to put, because Sony had like, I think I counted when I tried out Spider-Man, they had like 24 or so stations set up.
So many.
Yeah.
They needed like that many.
They had 4 for Smash Brothers, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I think that's right.
We got those cool little Smash pins though.
Yeah, I have them on
I asked multiple guys to see if I could get that Smash lanyard, and they were like, "Nah." I was like, "Oh."
It was a very cool Smash.
Fuck you, Nintendo elitists. Give me a lanyard. It's not that big of a deal.
Damn you and your perks for working at Nintendo.
Blacklisted out of the industry.
Because I just wanted a Smash lanyard.
I
had one game.
Okay.
That I didn't cover.
Oh, I have one more too.
Yeah, which I thought which is one of those games I saw a long time ago, and it just kind of went off the radar. It's called Pray for the Gods. It was up on the 6th floor, like it was like where that big last year Nightmare booth was, like hidden behind it. It was like a little booth back there, and it was one of those things where me and Logan went up there the last day, and he was showing me the last year the Nightmare, and I was like, oh, this does look cool. And then I was just kind of like, just kind of looking around. And as soon as my eye caught like the big Pray for the Gods logo, it was like you could literally picture this moment of like Logan talking at me and me just like
walking away.
Like immediately tuned him out. And I'm like, holy crap, that game's here. And I just And I just was like, yeah, okay. And just,
Whatever,
just
bye.
yeah, and just like walked over there and just kind of like there was actually a decent crowd there. So for a while I was just kind of like staring at it. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool to see here. I'll set it up a little bit where if you haven't heard of the game, Pray for the Gods is basically like it was kickstarted a few years ago. It's only 3 dudes working on it, but they're just making like this really cool like Shadow of the Colossus style it's like part Shadow of the Colossus, part kind of survival game, where like you're basically like this woman and she's mysteriously washed up into this like snowy mountain area, and you can like you wander around and you get a grappling hook so you can like grapple to like points, kind of like it looks exactly like the grapple from like the old Zeldas, where it, like pulls it up and you shoot at something and then you lunge towards it. There's all kinds of like stuff in the environment you can like pick up. So like, you know, there's like stuff to heal you, but there's also like stuff to like craft bandages or craft like more different kinds of arrows and stuff. There's not like a lot, but like it's mainly there in the environment when you're fighting a monster. Specifically, like you can craft torches and stuff to fight them. Because like that's like the big thing of when Shadow of the Colossus. Obviously, you jump onto it, you climb to a point, and you stab it, and like that's how you beat every monster. Where this one, it's like there's multiple ways to do that. Like there is like the same thing of like you can get on it and climb up it and get to certain points, and they're like these like weird like stone things she like pulls out, and you like slam back into it, and you have to like climb up and find those points. Or there's like with your grappling hook, there's specific ones you can only grapple to get to, and you can go to those ones instead. There's also like torches you can make, and you can like lure it to places to like do stuff to it. Like it's basically like this kind of more open version. Like there's not, I think they were saying it like they're only aiming to have like at launch like 5 of those like big titans in. I don't think they're called titans, but I don't remember the name they said. But basically it's like a more like sandboxy, I guess the best way to describe it, like Shadow of the Colossus, where there's a whole bunch of different ways to take them down. Like he was saying, like all weekend there's two ways. There's only one in the demo, and they were saying there was like 2 ways you could take it down that no one found the entire weekend. And it just
interesting.
And it just visually looks really cool. Like the main character lady you play as literally looks like, I guess like this is it's gonna sound mean, but she looks like an off-brand like Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, like or like I guess like indie game version of Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn as the main character, and it's like the same thing. Like she was silent the whole time, she didn't speak or anything, but it was very cool, and I've been wanting to see that game for a while, and even asked them. I was like, you guys kind of showed a trailer, and it looked so cool. And then they were like, yeah, actually the story behind that was we showed it. We showed it on E3 one year. That's where we're going to show it off the first time. Apparently, friend of the site, Greg Miller, went and saw the game pre-release, like before they were going to show it off. Yeah. And he was like, holy crap, this game looks amazing. Can I tweet about it? And they were just like, yeah, sure, whatever. They didn't know who he was. So they were like, yeah, whatever, do it. Do it. Go ahead. And he tweeted it, and Greg Miller tweeted it out. And then all of a sudden the dude was saying his like phone started blowing up. And they just looked up and they're like, oh, holy crap, Greg Miller has like over 2 million followers. Oh, God. So it was pretty funny when I was sitting there talking to the developers about it. And yeah, they basically, that happened. They showed it in E3 and that like it blew up there. And then they were like, oh, God, we actually have to start developing this. So they kind of like went silent, and they've been like kind of been working on it because it's just 3, like I said, it's just 3 dudes. I've been working on it for a few years now, but it's really cool. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
That does sound cool.
I am sad I didn't know that was there, because I'm also excited about that. So
yeah, it was really cool.
I was only on the 6th floor for a couple of things, so
it was like hidden too.
I wish I had seen the Shovel Knight multiplayer mode, which was also but I just didn't have time. I was very tired. Totally. I saw Boyfriend Dungeon. I didn't get to play the press demo that they had, which was much longer. It's a bummer because the lady there wanted to get me on the press demo, but I was waiting in line, and I didn't want to like awkwardly stand somewhere when I didn't have an appointment. emailed them too late to make an appointment, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think from Ian from OKB like took us all over there one day, and like a similar thing happened. We were just kind of like, we're like, hey, how's it going? We all met at East, but didn't remember each other, and then there's a big crowd here, so we're not going to play. It's okay. It's cool.
When I was there, the lady that I had met at East was not there. Unfortunately, I think she was like on a break, probably exhausted. But I got to play the regular demo, which it was very good. It's it's a cool mix of visual novel and dungeon crawler, like Diablo-esque dungeon crawler. It plays very well. I was kind of taken aback at how well it played. It's cool, like each weapon, each boyfriend, or girlfriend. It's
or cat,
or cats. It's all over the map. Has like different combos, and they have like a little combo list under your health bar that lets you know like what you can do. There was some weird stuff with it, where like enemies were blocked by the environment or something like that. But for the most part, it reminded me visually a lot of Bastion. Which can only be a compliment. It had a different art style, obviously, but as far as like the perspective, the isometric perspective, and the way it played, and the combat, and the kind of pacing of it, reminded me a lot of that. There's like a dodge roll, kind of like in Bastion, and things like that. So played very well, played a lot better than I thought I would. I basically kind of stuck with one weapon the whole time, just because I wanted to see what that was like. And it was cool, kind of like building that relationship with that person. There were like different things in the dungeon, because like I don't really know what the context for the dungeons are. In the case in the demo that I played, it was a mall that you were going into like after hours, and you were like going deeper into it, kind of like a Tartarus or Mementos from like a Persona game. For point of reference, it's all like procedurally generated, pretty samey environments, but I imagine that will change if you go to a different dungeon. But like you would find like a fountain, and it's like you can have like a relationship moment with one of your weapons there, or you like I found like massage chairs, and like me and my girlfriend knife sat down and hung out on them. I don't know how they contextualize the fact that these people turn into weapons when you go into the dungeon, and can kind of I guess freely transform back and forth between weapons and people. I don't really care, because it's great. And it's well written. It's funny. There's like a whole texting system in it that I only got to see a little bit of too, that kind of reminded me of Catherine also. So it's I feel like it's pulling from a lot of inspirations that I really connect with and I really like. I didn't get my demo was very short. It's like 8 to 10 minutes. So I would defer to Ian, who wrote a preview for okbeast.com. I would check that preview out. I have not read it myself, but he was very impressed and spoke very highly of it walking out of that. So is that it? Anything else that we want to touch on? Scott, do you have anything else?
Not really. I played some Biomutant. I was not a huge fan of Biomutant.
I played some Darksiders 3 now that you mentioned it. So.
I also played a little Darksiders 3.
Actually played both of those as well.
I'm a little worried about Biomutant. I guess it got delayed till next year, right? So which is good. Like take the time they need for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Darksiders 3 though. It feels a little weird, but like I'm not necessarily worried about it. I think it looks great, runs great. Hearing all the stuff that I've heard about that game is cool. Mm-hmm. And our friend Logan Moore from DualShockers got to actually have like a sit-down demo and talk to one of them. And the takeaway I had from that, and I don't know if he wrote anything about it, but like the people that are doing that game, a lot of folks from Darksiders 2 like came in on Darksiders 2 were like they had to cut around the demo, the very brief demo that they had at PAX, and also everything they've shown about that game, because it is like hella spoilers for Darksiders lore. And their big thing was like, if you care at all about Darksiders lore, like right out of the gate and pretty much nonstop, you are getting like dividends upon dividends of that.
That's good.
That's one of the things I love most about
the
Darksiders series. Like I love the whole idea. Like I love war. I love death. Like I know a lot of people aren't a huge fan of Darksiders 2 compared to the first one, but I really enjoyed Darksiders 2.
I do too.
The aesthetic and everything they go with, I can't wait to see how it all turns out. And I really hope that I'm hoping it sells well enough that we get a Darksiders 4.
We can finally complete the quadrilogy.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I don't know if I would want like the fourth one to be just about the fourth horseman, and then Darksiders 5 picks up like right when the other horsemen, you see them dropping down to Earth.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be a really cool like.
Yeah, I like Strife is weird too because he's the one with the 2 guns, right? So like,
yeah,
I kind of want to see that game because I feel like if they did like a 3rd-person shooter or like a full Devil May Cry Darksiders game, like it could be really cool. But also like I want them to kind of get me to the promise that the end of Darksiders 1 had me at.
Yeah.
That we've all been waiting for. But yeah, like hearing that about Darksiders 3 has me like so excited because I love Darksiders lore. I just replayed 1 and 2 like last month, and yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
So and like I said, it feels good. It doesn't feel as amazing as like I bet Devil May Cry 5 felt, but
yes,
it
as a person who played both, but what you just said though was like definitely reassuring. Like I played it and was just kind of like, this feels like a little tankier than I feel like it should actually feel when you like see like her like weapon and abilities. Like it just kind of felt a little off.
Yeah.
But you saying it's like you went to a person there like, yeah, we're going in on the lore and like the characters and all the stuff. That's like, okay, cool, because that's like at the end of the day, that's what I actually want.
Yeah.
Like if the gameplay like what I played was definitely serviceable. So if like all that the more interesting stuff that I want is there, then I'm there for it.
Especially because like the coolest part about Darksiders 3 is like you get these elemental powers. Like you get a fire thing that lets you like do this double jump thing, and you get one for wind and water and earth as well, I believe. And they let you do different things. So
I don't even think that was in the demo either.
Yeah, it wasn't. None of it was. So all that stuff is like, because the other thing that Logan Moore told me was if Darksiders 1 is like Zelda, this is what the developer said. If Darksiders 1 is like Zelda and Darksiders 2 is like Diablo, then Darksiders 3 is like Metroid, in that you can get more powers and backtrack, and the world kind of expands and with your abilities, and you get to access new areas of it. I'm like, fucking
that sounds cool.
Sign me the fuck up, because August wasn't enough for me.
Yeah. I feel kind of bad for the developers, just because I imagine they're putting so much stress on. I would imagine with the releases of such like huge action character driven games like God of War and Spider-Man both coming out this year, I imagine that they're under like crazed pressure from themselves to be like, okay, combat has to be so fucking good in this. Like I feel like they have a lot more to live up to this year, especially compared to other years, just because there have been some really, really good action, like combo heavy third person action games that have come out in this year. So
I think I feel like Darksiders knows what it is, you know. It is the B tier game, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's very good in that spot.
I'm ready to dive in on that 7, so to speak.
Yeah, dude. Swimming 7s, and I've never been happier. I think that'll do it. We have a lot more stuff up on the site. Like I said, our IP Cross OKBs podcast is up as of the day we're recording this. So that is out there. I have like a full thing at the beginning. I know the audio is bad.
Sorry.
It was no one person's fault. It just all kind of happens. It wasn't an ideal recording environment. But you know, it's fine. Like I said in that episode, the content of that episode, I think made it worth listening to if you are a content creator yourself and kind of want to just sympathize with someone else, but also
have a like, I know that. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that moment, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of I feel that, and it was a lot of like, because like I'll say like IP as it is very new, and like me as like the leadership behind it, I'm very new to doing what I've been doing for the last year, and like I feel very self-conscious about the quality in which I've been doing it. But like hearing from OKB, so like the struggles that they go through, and like very different struggles, some very similar, some very familiar, but very different things. It's like sometimes grass is always greener, you know? Like it's like it was nice to just kind of commiserate. George Cruz made the joke when he was watching of like the therapy session that was IP Cross OKBs, and it kind of was that. Like,
yeah,
it was us kind of airing our grievances and with ourselves and with each other, and like trying to improve one another. So if like you are creating small stuff, small content, and just want to commiserate or kind of hear the struggles of other people and maybe learn something, who knows? I think that's good for you, or if you're just curious to part the kimono, as I said many times on that show, of like what it's like to be on the other end, and what it's like to have like rigid content schedules and pressure, like both self-inflicted and inflicted by the environment, the ecosystem, video games, and the industry. I think you'll learn a lot, or you'll glean a lot from it. But thank you everyone that tuned in or tried to tune into that live, or that just read our PAX stuff. Like we have a lot of previews up. I'm trying to count it out here. At least 15 previews up right now, and I think there's the last 2 are going to be up Monday. So anything past that will be done. We'll be done finally with PAX previews. Not as many. I think we had like 40 from PAX East or something like that.
Yeah. We also had like 3 more people, I think.
Yeah. We had 6 people instead of 4.
Oh yeah.
But we saw a lot. We did a lot. We didn't do as much as I think we wanted to, but we still had a really great time doing it. Thank you to everyone who reads IP and reads the site and watches our videos and everything, because obviously we wouldn't be able to do this without you. We wouldn't have gotten the access that we did without your support. So thank you very much. And yeah, we're planning the next events that we plan on going to. And we've learned, I feel like I learned a lot from this experience. I think like we are going to continue to get better at covering these events and giving you and answering your questions more specifically, like Mike tried to do with Smash Brothers, like I tried to do with Spelunky. Like obviously it's not perfect, but we're trying to get better at that, and and I think we learned a lot. So hopefully the next time around it's going to be even better. But regardless, thank you everyone for tuning in, for watching, for listening. We love you all very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mike and Scott, for joining me.
Of course.
Thank you.
You guys are wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you, Logan, wherever you are. Sleeping, maybe.
Nah.
Who knows? Nah. Fuck you, Logan.
Can't make time for us.
Can't make time for PAX, man. But yeah. Thank you all so much, and have a good one.
Bye.